Hello there, I'm Peggy McColl, and I want to welcome you back to the Manifestation Podcast. This podcast is designed for you to manifest your every desire. This session, we will be talking about goals, dreams, desires, and choosing the right goal. It seems to be that many people have a challenge with goals. They have a challenge with setting them, they don't set them, they set the wrong goals, or they set a goal that's so far beyond anything that they could even imagine that they never, ever, ever get there. So let's talk about, how do you know when you've actually got the right goal? How do you know if this is a goal that you can actually manifest into physical form? That's what we're going to address right here. So let's start with the following. When you think about goals, when you think about your dreams, your desires, what happens is, the moment the idea comes into your mind, your paradigms are going to be there, perhaps attempting to block you from pursuing or stretching yourself and going for something you've never accomplished before. Paradigms are your belief systems. Paradigms are within your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is far more powerful than your conscious mind. You see, your subconscious mind is where your beliefs are. It's like the quote, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So what is his heart? It's his belief system. It's his paradigms. And so the moment you start thinking, wow, I'd really love to manifest that as a result, whatever that is, immediately the paradigms start to kick in, and they're going to try and hold you back. So a big part of this process of getting the right goal allows you to push aside any negative or restricting kind of belief that you may have or have had, so that you can dream big, so that you can really connect to what you would really love. So I'll give you some examples as we're going through this, but I also want to recommend that you follow through as we're going through this podcast. So number one, sit down and think about, if you could really have, do, be, experience anything that you desire to experience in your life, what would you love? What would you love? 4 powerful words in a question that can change the course of your life. If you sat down today, immediately following listening to this, sat down with a pen and a paper and just asked yourself this question: if I could do anything, if I could have anything, if I could accomplish anything, remember, you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. What would I love? What would I really love? This could be like a game you're playing. You may even want to do this with someone else, with a very close friend or a significant other, or maybe your partner or a child. What would you really love? As a matter of fact, I say children are really good at dreaming. They're really good at tapping into their imagination. Adults tend to have a little more challenge, because as we grow up, we're told, stop daydreaming. And who do you think you are? And that's just not possible. So we just stop listening to our intuition, or we stop listening to our greater mind and stop connecting to our dreams. But not anymore. You're here and you're listening to this. Take the time to sit down and really think about, what would I really love? As you're writing out the items that you would really love, do not allow the way to interrupt you or to prevent you from writing it down, because you don't have to know the how. This is one of the greatest lessons that I've ever learned from Bob Proctor. You do not have to know how. And then when you sit down and you write out these goals, what you would really love, you may write out some things that, you're not really that crazy about. So when you look at your list, then what you do is you evaluate it. I actually have a goals journal that I keep right here in my office. And I've been at this process of setting and achieving goals now for well over 40 years. So I have a lot more understanding of how it works. And the goals that I've written in my goals journal are absolutely goals that I deeply desire. When you make your list, I want you to review it and say, do I really want this or do I not want this? Do I really want this or do I not want this? Like just check in and see. And once you have your list written of what you'd really love, then what I suggest that you do is extend it a little further by writing out a goal statement. I am so happy and grateful now that, and whatever that may be. I'll give you an example. Savvy Wisdom is my 19th book. And this is in my goals that I'm so happy and grateful that Savvy Wisdom has been sold to millions and millions of readers all around the world. And I see that for Savvy Wisdom. It's already done. It is a goal that I am in love with. Now, how do you know if you're really in love with a goal or not? You know by how you feel. So as you're approaching this, as you're evaluating the goals that you've set for yourself, pay attention to if you really, really do want it or not. I've set goals in the past and I started moving toward them, started focusing on accomplishing them in my life, and then realized, I don't really want that. It doesn't inspire me. How did I know? Well, I knew because of how I felt. But I know how I feel about Savvy Wisdom. I know how I feel about the impact it's making in the world. And so I'm constantly thinking about it, and it's in my goals. Plus, I'm getting ideas. Just last night, I was watching a documentary and I got an idea for Savvy Wisdom. This morning, I was in action. I'm moving toward that goal. But in my mind and in my heart, it's already done. So when you write out your goal statements, you write out your goal statements in the affirmative, using only positive words. I am so happy and so grateful is a great way to start a goal statement because it includes emotion, happy, grateful. Happy, grateful. You want to be connecting to the emotions of what it feels like to have that goal. Now, also, I carry with me a goal card. And on this goal card, I have listed my top goal. My top goal is the goal that I have that excites me and what doesn't really scare me. Used to maybe when I first set it, but now it feels natural. And why it feels natural now is because I've been focused on it for so long. I know this is done. And as a side note, one of the great lessons that Neville Goddard taught is that the more natural you feel that your goal is already done, and I feel it with Savvy, I feel it with the goal that's on this card, the better it's going to go for you. The more likely that the universe is taking care of your goal for you and everything requisite for the fulfillment of your goal, provided you stay connected to the outcome emotionally, is being attracted to you. And it's being attracted to you right now. A lot of people have challenge with that. The reason why they have challenge with that is because they can't see it. And many people get emotionally caught up in the following. They set the goal, they follow through on the steps to accomplish the goal, building the belief system, feeling as if it's here now, and then they don't see any kind of results. They don't see anything that demonstrates to them there's progress, and that can happen. And so they get disillusioned, and it's like they give up on the goal. Think about this. If you took a seed of a plant, let's say it's a tomato plant, and you go to the garden and you plant that seed, and you go out there a couple days later, and you're not seeing any kind of evidence. There's nothing coming through the ground. There's no shoot. There's no plant as far as you can see. But did you plant it? Yes. Is that seed growing? Yes. But it takes time. What do most people do? They plant the seed of the idea. They have the goal. They're emotionally involved in the goal. They're happy and grateful for the goal. Start moving along, and then they're not seeing any results, and then they get frustrated. You know what they did? It's like they went out and poured poison on top of the seed, or they ripped it up, ripped it out of the garden. They get frustrated. You must understand the gestation period for all things to manifest into form, including your goals. So you may have the right goals. Sometimes people say to me, I don't know if I have the right goal or not. You will know that you have the right goal based on how you feel. I know I have the right goal. I know that I have the right goal written on my goal card. I know it. I know because of how I feel. I'm in love with this goal. You can definitely change your goal if you're not in love with the goal. You can change your goal at any time. Think about this. If you get in your vehicle, I live in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Let's say I get in my vehicle now and I decide I'm going to drive to Phoenix, Arizona. And I get in my car and I start going towards Phoenix, Arizona. What's Phoenix, Arizona? It's a goal. It's an example of a goal. Let's say I'm driving along and I'm thinking about Phoenix, Arizona, going along. Could be days. All of a sudden it's like, I don't think I want to go to Phoenix, Arizona. And why don't I think I want to go to Phoenix, Arizona? Because of how I feel. I'm not feeling like I want to go to Phoenix, Arizona. So what do? Stop, reevaluate, make a new decision. Where do I want to go? And then change direction, change course. You have been given this wonderful gift of choice. You get to choose what you'd love to manifest in your life. You get to choose what you're going to do every day. You get to choose what you're going to feel. Take that choice back. Take your power back today and sit down and think, what would I really love, knowing that you do not have to know how to get there. I've accomplished goal after goal after goal, from dream homes, from waterfront properties, from New York Times bestsellers, from my books, from my relationship with my wonderful husband, from my home. All of these goals have been manifested based on what I'm teaching, based on what you're hearing in this message. I decided what it is that I would really love. I built the belief system in order to have my paradigms be a perfect match for what I desire, felt what it felt like to have that goal in my life, lived in the expectancy of the best, utilizing the laws of the universe, including the law of assumption. So people are getting discouraged for different reasons with their goals. They may even be thinking they don't have the right goal. But if you just move apart that part of your brain that thinks you've got to figure it all out and thinks you have to figure out the how, and just go to that space or that place in your consciousness of infinite possibilities, of truly having what you would love. That is a wonderful place to be. And when you do this, like really get the clarity around what you'd really love and you lock on target, just like a servo mechanism does. Servo mechanisms are designed that when they lock on target, boom, they will hit that target. Think about a missile. A missile is a servo mechanism. The missile has a destination that it's going to hit, and it's locked on target. And even if that target moves, the missile will hit it. Why? Because of the servo mechanism. Your brain is wired the same way when you get it working properly. So sit down, think about what you would really, really love to experience in your life. Take a pen and paper and write it down. Write it down today and then be with it, stay with it, and just check in a couple days. Am I really in love with this goal? Is this a goal that I'd really love to experience? And if it's not, off it goes. But what'll probably happen for you is you're going to think about other goals. You may be asking the question, well, how many goals can I have, Peggy? You can have as many goals as you want. There's no limit. There's no limit to what you can create. You can have as many goals as you want. But I want to give you a little word of caution with this exercise as well. Don't write out how it's going to happen. And I've seen this as well. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I have a lot of clients that I've been working with over the years. And I see it, often where people will sit down, they'll say, okay, I'm so happy and grateful that I am earning $10 million a year in personal income where I'm selling this and that. And then it's like they're telling the universe how it's going to happen. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. And yes, you can use adjectives to describe it. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm easily earning. Easily is a great word to have. I'll do things like, I'm a happy and a healthy multimillionaire, because you want to be healthy while you're enjoying your goals, right? So you could use words like healthy. I'm happy and grateful to be a healthy and happy multimillionaire. You could say things like, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm easily earning, and put in whatever income you'd love to earn. And I am having a lot of fun while serving people in positive ways. Now, what does that sound like? Sounds like you're having a great time. Sounds like you're doing something that's contributing to people in the world. And it's just a unique way of defining that goal. So every word that you're going to use in your goal statement should be a positive one. You wouldn't use a negative word. I'll give you a couple of examples of that. I remember one time a woman was in one of my workshops and she had written down a goal that she was no longer in debt. I wouldn't suggest that's a good goal statement. Why? Because it's focused on negativity. It's focused on debt. Do you want debt? Probably not. So I suggested to her, what would you love? And she said, well, I'd love to have, this amount of income. I'd love to have this money in the bank account. And I said, what about your net worth? What would you love your net worth to be? Because your net worth is taking your assets, minusing your liabilities, and that's what you're worth, your net worth. And if you would love for your net worth to be X millions of dollars or euros or whatever currency you're using, then declare that. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. That gives free will to the universe to let it show up and manifest in a perfect way. Another example of a goal from someone that attended my workshop one time was a woman who had set a goal to no longer be fat. And I asked her, I said, what is your ideal weight? And she told me, and I said, okay, great. So how about saying this? I am so happy and grateful now that I'm at my ideal weight of, and I think for her it was 135 pounds. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm healthy at my ideal weight of 135 pounds. And I feel the best I've ever felt in my life. Just a few more words that make it even more impactful emotionally. And that's what you're looking for, is to impact yourself emotionally. Sit down today and decide if you have the right goals or not. You may already have goals already established, and that's fine if you do, but sit down and really evaluate. I read my goals out of my goals book every single day, every day. I look at my goal card every single day. I'm in harmony with these goals as if they're already done. I am in love with my goals, in love with them. I know I have the right goals, but I know for some people they've had challenges with this, and I created this recording for you to help eliminate those challenges and to help you understand how to effectively and easily set those goals. I suggest you follow through with that today. That's a wrap for our Manifestation podcast. If you like this and find it valuable, share it with your friends. I also want to recommend get yourself a copy of Savvy Wisdom. It is by far receiving the greatest response of any of my 19 books. It does have the power to change lives, and I know it's already changing lives. Please get your copy, savvywisdom.com. You can go to savvywisdom.com. We're going to bonus you with some wonderful gifts when you do, and share it with your friends as well. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you again in another one of our Manifestation Podcast episodes.